What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Whistlekick Martial Arts Radio, and on today's episode, there we go. I'm already flubbing. You can feel great. I'm joined by Sensei Mark Giordano, and we're gonna have a great conversation. Hang out, real quick. Whistlekick.com. What are you going to find at whistlekick.com? All the things that we do, everything from the events that we do, like Martial Summit, which you've been to our products in the store. You can use the code podcast15 to save some money on gear or apparel or training programs or any of the things that we do. And if you want to help us out, consider just telling people what we do. Tell your training partners, tell the people at your school, tell your instructors about Whistlekick and everything that we're doing to connect, educate, and entertain the traditional martial artists of the world. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been great. I've enjoyed. We're just getting to know each other, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Andrew connected with you and Martial Summit. I think when I think back on Martial Summit, which, for the audience, we're recording this in January. We're here in Keene. We're in Andrew's wife's office, which is awesome. Makes me feel special. We have an office today. When I think about the successes of Martial Summit, one of the ones that I'm really just so thankful for is the fact that we reached out to the martial arts schools in the greater Keene area and said, do you want to be part of this? Where are you willing to let people come in and train for free? Can we do this kind of open gym, open school concept? And you're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. Having all the different instructors come in, and I learned stuff. How to for my roundhouse kick a little bit better and how to get the hip motion into it.
Yeah.
And then having the other instructors come in and just kind of meeting with them and kind of talking to them and finding what they're about and stuff. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was, to take that event from 1 day to 4 days was crazy. And, we started going, oh, wait, where are we going to put everything? And of course, we had some sessions at your school. Yeah. In fact, your school kicked off Martial Summit, which was kind of cool. Beautiful space.
Oh, thank you.
One of the most gorgeous martial arts spaces I've ever been in.
Thank you.
So what's your origin story? If we, I like to think about it in terms of, episode 1 or issue 1 of the comic book, the TV show, the limited movie series, whatever it is of your martial arts journey. Like how and why did you get started?
Well, I started in 91.
Okay.
So I was like 6-7 years old. I was the youngest. No, I don't have any older brothers or anything. So I always hung out with the older kids. And I was hanging out with two of the older kids in town and in the neighborhood, and their mom drove up and said, we're going to karate lessons. And they looked at me and said, Mark, get in the car. Literally, that's how it went. And so I got in the car.
And you went to karate?
I went to karate. The karate school started in Shape. So it was just a local thing that a karate instructor did. And then I came back and my mom was like, where'd you go?
Where have you been?
Where have you been? Because I literally left the neighborhood. And I was like, I went to karate lessons. And my mom's like,
what?
What? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. She's like, what do you mean you went to karate lessons? I was like, I went to karate lessons. I went to karate lessons with so-and-so. And they kind of she looked at me like, what did you think? Did you like it? Did you want to go back? And I was just like, sure. So, my mom went there and signed me up and, and I just went to karate lessons. And that's how it kind of just started.
This is a new origin story. Here we are. We've got close to 500 individual interviews, and I have not heard the pseudo abduction origin story. Get in the car. We're going to karate.
Yeah.
Did you, 7 is young enough that you probably don't remember a lot, but did you have any idea what to expect? Had you seen anything on TV, if I'm doing the math right? Or at the very early, you might have been watching Ninja Turtles.
Power Rangers, the Three Ninjas.
Yep.
Just that kind of stuff. And so I think I knew what karate was. No, at least at that age, I thought I knew what karate was. Now you punch and kick, and that's what we did at the karate school. We punched and kicked, and just went from there, kind of thing.
So mom goes in, signs you up,
Signs me up. Yep.
and you stayed at that school forever.
Stayed at that school forever. I mean, we moved a couple of different times.
Sure.
So we started in shape underneath Steve the Master Challenge Studios, and then we moved to North Branford. So we moved over one town. The instructor got like a studio space, and we just trained. We constantly did that. And it was a lot of fun. No, I had a good time.
You're an instructor now, so you know that kids who start at that age, it is quite common for them to stop at some point, whether it's adolescent, teen years, at the very least it's college, those transitional times either in development or in life.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you didn't.
I didn't have a choice.
Okay.
Especially at that age. No, my mom's like, I'm paying for this, you're going.
Sure.
I'm paying for this, you're going. I don't want to go, Mom. You're going, I'm paying for it. There was literally no choice.
I remember that conversation as well.
Yep. And once I got there, like any kid, you don't want to leave what you're doing at that moment.
Right.
But once I got there, I loved it. I had a great time. I did did my class. I go home. I'm talking about it. I'm trying to break boards, trying to break sticks in the yard or whatever the case, and then I would have my high and then I would get my low and Mark, it's time for karate lessons. Oh, I don't want to go. No, my friends are doing this. I'm paying for this. Get in the car. You're going. So, that's roughly what it was. It just wasn't a choice.
Was there a point as you got older where that conversation shifted a little bit? Mom, I don't know this is a thing I want to do anymore.
It did shift. No, I got more into it, especially when we started throwing each other on the ground. Takedowns and like flipping each other all over. And the instructor was teaching us how to do monkey flips. You grab somebody, you put your feet in their stomach, you flip them over. And so that kept my interest and stuff like that. And then I started doing competitions, and that really kept my interest because, I was traveling all over Connecticut, different competitions in Maine. And my instructor took an interest in me. He started having me help out with classes and stuff like that. And I just had a passion for it. My brother tried to do it with us. And my brother's really big into football and everything at that time, football and stuff like that. It wasn't for him, but it was for me. I wasn't a sport person. I tried baseball. I was a kid in the outfield that would pick grass.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah,
where's the place the ball is least likely to go? I want that position.
Yeah. I did soccer, but if the ball was over there, I just stopped just because I'm not going to, once the ball came to me, I was into it, but it was just, when it was out of sight, it was out of mind kind of thing. So sports wasn't my thing. Martial arts was my thing because I didn't have to, when you do sports, you have to worry about everyone else on the team. You have to do your best, which in martial arts, you always have to do your best anyways. But in martial arts, you didn't have to worry about what the other kid was doing on the side of you. Just worry about what you're doing. But in sports, if one person was bad on that team, the team was kind of brought down to a different level just because that one person just didn't care or didn't try or just wasn't into it, and he was kind of forced to be there. And with karate lessons, I didn't have to worry about anyone. I just had to be better than I was that one day and just try harder.
Yeah, that's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
I just had to be better than I was that one day. At what point did your martial arts experience change from this is kind of a thing that I'm doing, it's a fun activity, it's my sport in a sense, to this is something that's part of me? Because here you are, foreshadowing, you're still doing it.
Yep.
I don't think I heard from you that you stopped at any point.
Nope.
So it's become your life.
Yeah.
You teach it. It is your primary job.
Yep, it's primary job. That's what I do full time.
Okay. So that's not something that happens lightly. It's something that comes as a result of passion.
Yep.
When did it turn from I'm a kid doing this to this is my thing?
Probably around 11, 12, give or take. No, my instructor, had the assistant program. So I joined that. I was the kid that held the pads for the other kids and the shields, and I was the punch-in person for for that kind of stuff. And I just got more into it and more into it. And then my instructor had me. He started a beginner class, so he told me I was in charge of the beginner class, and that was a big deal for me. A beginner for the kids. Now at that time, I was probably almost 14 years old. So every Wednesday I had to be there at 4:30, and I ran 15 kids from white to yellow. And then they would move out of that class once they got their orange belt and stuff like that. So that was my class. So that was I was put in charge of.
How old were you?
About 14.
Wow. Okay.
And everything.
I'm wrapping my head around that. That's in some ways that's 7 years of experience. That's plenty of time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean,
I'm 14. Yeah. And then we had other students that came up and they started running beginner classes. And so my instructor moved me to the immediate class. He's going, all right, now you got to work with orange, purple, blue. And then they would get moved out into the advanced class. So I got switched into the immediate class, and I worked with all those kids. And then when my class would leave and the next class would come in, and I did it. And then that was about 2 times a week. So I had to be there every Monday and Wednesday at like 5 and stuff like that. And I went from there. And then for our schools, we have an instructor academy that we have to go through. So it's a 2-year program that we do. So I started doing the instructor program.
What does that look like?
It's additional training, a lot of training. It's with our Grandmaster Damasco. And he trains us how to teach better and everything like that. So I started the instructor program. And then when I was 16 years old, my instructor at the school kind of wanted to, he's been doing it for a long time and just kind of wanted to out branch a little bit. So I was 16, he handed me the keys and said, I'm going to pay you, but you have to be here Monday through Friday.
What did Mom think?
Well,
it's kind of like an adult job being handed over to a 16-year-old. That's a tremendous amount of responsibility.
It was a huge responsibility for me. Well, my mom tells everyone to this day it was the best investment that she ever made.
Sure.
Because here I am 39 now, and I moved out of Connecticut when I was 19, just graduated high school, and I opened up a school up here with Grandmaster Damasco and became his manager for that location. But being 16, running that school, I would literally go to school, go to the karate school. I get done with school around like 2 o'clock, 2:30. I would go to the karate school, do my homework, and then start teaching classes from 4 to 9, Monday through Friday. Yeah. And then, which I never told a lot of people that I did karate. They would see me around town wearing my shirt or like doing demonstration, but I never like put it out there that I did karate. Until one of my teachers came in looking for classes. My math teacher came in looking for classes. Yeah.
That's an interesting dynamic.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy. So he came in, he looked at me going like, oh, I'm looking for the instructor. So I got up and introduced myself. And I said, oh, I'm the instructor. And my math teacher looked at me and said, no, I'm looking for like the head instructor. Oh, I'm the head instructor. I run this location. And he's like, you were just in my math class. And it kind of got around school with all the teachers that I ran a karate school and stuff like that. And
how did that change the way people interacted with you?
With the teachers, they kind of looked at, I guess they didn't really look at me like, they looked at me as a student, but a little higher. It was definitely, I couldn't get away with more. I couldn't get away with anything in school.
They expected more.
A lot more. I'd be hanging out with my friends in the lunchroom and stuff like that, and my friends were acting stupid, and one of my teachers would come up to me and like, Mark,
you can't be an adult, 4 or 5 hours in the evening and then be a kid during the day
and doing this, and and my son's going to come for classes today, right? And I'm just like, so it really tripped my brain.
That's tough.
Yeah. So I guess I couldn't be like a typical teenager. I couldn't be like most teenagers are. They don't care about a lot of things. They just kind of.
You grew up fast.
Yeah, I grew up real fast.
Hmm.
And that was tough. No, because it was just, it was, it my mind just had to always be on.
Yeah.
I'm always being watched.
Yeah.
No, I'm being watched around town. I'm being watched so a lot of my friends, I stopped being friends with just because, they were being teenagers and I couldn't be a typical teenager.
Right. I've found, because for different reasons, but that is, a part of my story, this idea that, I kind of went from young child to adolescent to adult.
Yep.
In a lot of ways. And there are times I look back and here I am, I've got a couple years on you, not much, but I look in the mirror and I don't feel my age. I feel like if you ask me how old I am, how old I feel, most of the time I feel 25. And there are plenty of things that creep into my life, whether it's around video games or some of, I have no problem. I'll go to the store, I'll buy a 6-pack,
Yep.
and then I'll go buy a box of Lego. and I'll spend Friday night drinking a couple beers, putting Lego together, right? Like that's not something that someone in their 40s is typically going to talk about doing. Of course, the world changed a little bit. It's more common than it used to be.
Yeah.
But, there are some kind of what some might call childish elements that have remained because I had to grow up rapidly and skip some of that. Do you have any of that?
I mean, yes and no, I guess. No, I still was a teenager, so I still kind of acted like a teenager. I just
you had to hide it.
I had to hide it
at school.
Yeah, I had to hide it from school, and I was more careful what I did and how I acted around people, just because it wasn't just me.
Mm.
No, I wasn't just Mark. No, it was as Grandmaster Damasco tells us. You're just, when you get your black belt, it's just not you anymore. It's the person on the side of you. It's the name on the door. It's, people look at you differently a little bit, especially when they find out that you're a black belt and stuff like that, which a lot of people don't understand what a black belt is, but they go, oh, you're a black belt.
They still look at you differently.
They still look at you differently and everything. And, being 16, I had to have that mindset.
Yeah.
And that was my mindset. When I was out in public, now I knew how to teach classes to the best of my abilities at 16. Still had a lot to learn, but my sales pitch was, "Oh, you don't like it, just quit." That's what I would tell people. They would come in going, "Oh," they would be like, "What makes you different than the person across the street?" Or whatever the case might be. And I was just like, "Well, if you don't like it, just go across the street." I don't know what to tell you.
I bet that worked pretty well.
It worked. I'm a lot better now selling, doing my sales pitch, but it worked for me. What
do you have to lose? Give it a try.
Give it a try. You don't like it, just quit. There's a school down the road you might like better. Just quit. And I got a lot of people to sign up that way and stuff like that. And I remember.
You didn't drive around the neighborhood and kidnap them. Say, come on, you're coming to karate.
No. I thought about it sometimes. I'm going, I see all these kids playing like in the park. I'm like, come to the karate school, just
get in. We have candy.
We have kind of thing. But how I got into the martial arts, and that was a different time. Yeah. It was be home before the street light was on. Stuff like that. Nowadays, kids don't go outside as much. Now they're on video games. Now they're on their phones.
It's a different world.
It's a different world altogether, and stuff like that. But it's the same thing. I'm teaching classes. Little Johnny doesn't like class anymore. Well, little Johnny's running around and he's having a great time. Well, it's a hard time to get him here. Well, that's nothing new. He's playing his video games. That's what he wants to do. Until you tell him to stop, he doesn't want to stop. But you have to get him to stop to get him into lessons, and he likes it. Unless the kid's like literally just not enjoying. You could tell when they're not enjoying it, and then it's just not a good fit. And stuff like that. So
if I'm doing my math right, 20 years. You've been doing this up here for 20 years.
20 years. So our school up here has been open for 19 years.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a long time to do anything.
Yeah.
I would imagine that in remaining doing the same thing. And to those listening, I'm using air quotes here because I'm sure it's changed. It has changed. It must have changed for you to remain engaged. Because I don't know too many people that do the same thing for 20 years, especially martial artists, without getting horrendously bored. So how has it changed?
Well, it hasn't changed much. No, there's different things that you have to overcome. No,
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know that I believe you. I bet if we really dig in, beginning to now, I bet there are a bunch of, maybe they're not huge changes.
well, are we talking about changes with like students now compared to when I was a student?
All of it.
All of it. Okay, so there's more video games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was a kid, you weren't allowed to be in the house. No, go outside, play with your friends.
Yeah.
My Uncle Ray bought me a Sega, and I looked at him when I opened it, going, "What do I do with this?" He's like, "Oh, you plug it into the TV and you play a game." So I plugged it into the TV and play a game. And I must have spent like 5 minutes on it, and I see my friends outside.
Yep.
So I put the system down, and my mom looked at me, "Where are you going?" "Oh, my friends are outside. I'm going to go outside and play with my friends." Playing a video game just wasn't it. And I was never really big into video games and stuff like that. I mean, nowadays, video games are a thing for every kid. You can play them on your phone. You know, I have kids in the waiting area waiting for class, and they're sitting there playing video games on their mom's phone. And then I got to tell them, "All right, little Johnny, you got to put down your game. Let's get into karate lessons," and stuff like that. So just the ages, it changed. Just because we respect to play outside. We respect to stay outside. You came home from lunch. I remember going to my grandmother's, at my grandmother's house, and she would tell us, "No, if you get thirsty, drink out of it. No, there's the hose.
There's the hose.
There's the hose."
None of us died drinking out of the hose.
And
even the rusty ones.
Yeah. And at lunchtime we will get our lemonade or whatever and our sandwich and go disappear again.
Yep, back into the woods.
Yeah, back into the woods. And we have a family house down in Connecticut that sits on the water. Mm-hmm. So I never went to camp or anything like that. So it was just, we're going to grandma's house, and you're going to hang out at the beach all day. So that was my camp during the summer and stuff like that. And then I would walk to karate lessons. And that was a good 40-minute walk. And sometimes I would walk.
And you didn't die.
I didn't die. I didn't die.
Did you walk back after?
Oh yeah, I would walk back.
Oh.
Sometimes my mom would pick me up. Because when I really started getting into it, I would do my class. I would do the next class. I would do the next class after that until it was like almost 9:00 at night. And I would stay for 4 classes. And I would literally go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. To take classes and stuff like that. And then, competitions got really big into me. Yeah. I've been to Maine, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York.
So we're talking about, sounds like a lot of the Ippon circuit.
Yeah. More
crane.
I wasn't part of the crane system.
Okay.
More open tournaments.
Okay. Yeah.
Local tournaments, just people just putting them out.
Okay.
Putting them out there. So I was never part of that. The crane circuit and everything, because that was a lot, and I personally just feel that I could give myself to that kind of thing, because that was a lot of training, which I trained anyways.
Sure.
But that's a different type of training.
Yes.
And everything like that. So I didn't get into that, but I went to every local tournament that I could find.
Okay.
Maybe I should have done the crane tournament because it was roughly the same thing what I was doing, but it was fun. And it was interesting to watch tournaments because we have our own in-house tournaments, closed tournaments that we do with all our studios. We have about 25 locations. And at that time, when I was a kid, we had a lot more schools at that time. And so Grandmaster Nemasco would have closed tournaments for all his students and stuff like that. And seeing his tournaments and then going to open tournaments, I definitely had my eyes got opened up a lot. For tournament wise, well, I don't do tournaments now, like open tournaments, but back then it was very biased, for the schools that you go against. And, you could tell who was going to win before the match year started. You watch a student walk up and start hugging all the judges.
That's not biased.
And everything like that. And, and then if the judges knew the kids by name, it just means that they competed a lot. But also the judges knew what they were and who they were and what they did and stuff like that. And that was, at that time, it was really hard to compete against that. I must have done over 1,000 open tournaments. And I didn't start winning tournaments maybe a year and a half into it. Just because you knew who was going to win.
Yeah.
They hug them, how you doing? Oh, this guy trains at this school. That's a really good school. I don't know anything about your school though. And stuff like that. So,
I competed. I know what you're talking about.
It was hard and stuff like that. It was very difficult sometimes. But, I stuck with it and I got better at it, and the judges started knowing my name, and I would start introducing myself, and I start winning tournaments and stuff like that.
Then you were on the other side of the bias.
Yeah. I mean,
we don't want to admit it, but I benefited from it as well.
Yeah. And everything. So, just open tournaments were, I didn't know what to expect at the time, but then it really, when we did our tournaments and then I would go to an open tournament, it was definitely, a different culture altogether and stuff like that.
So I don't know the order that today's episodes are going to come out, but prior, of course, I was talking to your grandmaster.
Yep.
And he was talking about cross training in his early days. So I'm wondering what you saw, what you competed against in these open tournaments, how did that impact you as a martial artist, you as an instructor, the things you had students doing? What did you bring back?
A lot of kicking. So a lot of open tournaments that I went to, a lot of Taekwondo. Mm-hmm. So a lot of high dynamic kicks, a lot of quick kicks and stuff like that. So I kind of, our styles, a lot of hands, kicks, but not like Taekwondo and stuff like that. So I worked on a lot of flexibility and everything, and working on getting my legs faster and understanding how to use my front leg to stop people from moving at you and stuff like that. So I took a lot. I realized when you start getting up in the higher ranks, you're allowed to hit them a lot harder and stuff like that. So that I got
even expected to, depending on the referees.
The referees and stuff like that. No, I had a judge one time. I lost, and the judge looked at me going like, you didn't win just because you didn't hit him hard enough. And I was just like, well, I hit him. Well, you didn't stop him. Oh, I got to stop him. Oh, okay. But I was quick. I got in there and stuff like that. I wasn't stopping them, I guess, good enough where.
Yeah, everybody had different expectations.
Yeah, and stuff like that. Just now all the instructors for open tournaments are on the same page. They might have like rules that they have to follow, but they're not on the same page. They kind of do what they want. I don't know if it's different now, but
it really hasn't changed that much in my observation.
No. So, I mean, that was my experience with a lot of open tournaments. I just got better at it, and I just kept on going. And, at the school, this is before I started teaching a lot more. We had a tournament team. It started with 1 with me, and then it went to 3, and then 4 and 5. And we, and at some point we had about like 20 people going to tournaments and stuff like that. So it made it a lot funner too. Yeah. We had a group, we would travel like to New York, and we would like spend the night at the hotel, and it was just a big family, big community and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun.
It's, one of the things that we often talk about within the martial arts world is that it's an individual sport. If, we can use that term loosely. Yeah. It's an individual pursuit done in a group environment. But, there's often, especially in that adolescent teen phase, for someone who is, they are interested in that team sport dynamic. A competition team can be a great way to kind of solve that challenge. Yeah. Just I can see it in your face, the way you're talking about that competition.
It was, because I wasn't big into sports. So, and, doing karate lessons, it is an individual person. It's not really like a team thing, but, going to a tournament with like 20 of your students, like 20 people from your school and stuff like that, it became a team. You here's the trophies here, and you get your trophy, and you come back, you go across the room, you start stacking all the trophies up. Mm-hmm. And stuff like that from all the other students that came from your school, and you're like, look at all the trophies we won for the school and stuff like that, or one for us, or whatever the case might be. It became a lot more fun doing the tournaments and stuff like that, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. But I got, the tournaments were great, but what really kept me into it was the teaching part of it. Just even now, been up here for 19 years, but I started teaching full time at 16, right. Started helping out 12, 13 around there, holding pads and stuff like that. But, starting to teach and everything like that, but watching the student get it, they just get it, they understand what they're doing, or it just clicks, and just seeing it in their eyes.
It's a moment.
Oh yeah.
A powerful moment.
It is a powerful moment. It's an unbelievable moment.
Do you remember any of those early on?
Oh yeah.
Is there anything that you're going? Because it's a drug. It's almost a drug to be able to convey information effectively to a student, and to see that light bulb go off and know that they got better because of your knowledge, your ability to teach.
Yeah. There's a lot of them. But there's one student that really sticks out.
Okay.
So I ran a school in Concord, New Hampshire, before I came back to, I helped open up Keene, went to Concord full time.
Okay.
Came back to Keene full time. So I kind of rotated between schools.
Sure.
So this is back in Concord. I had a young man, started with me when he was 7, learning disabilities and everything like that. But I forget what it's called, but it's when the brain, the left and the right, left side and the right side of the brain don't connect.
Oh, okay.
And so, he did a lot. It wasn't a group setting for him. It was more privates. But at some point, I was able to get him into the groups and stuff like that. But
that right there is a big win.
Oh yeah, big, huge. But what really got me going was the mom told me, "You're not going to be able to get him to do this." So he wanted to learn weapons. So he gets his forms and stuff like that, but he wanted to learn a weapon. So I said, all right, well, he does privates. So I'm like, well, pick a weapon. And thank God he picked the staff, because I got swords on the wall. I'm like, oh God, I don't know if I can do the swords with him. But he picked the staff, and I was like, all right. And the mom looked at me and said, I don't think he's going to be able to do this. I said, well, come back in a half hour. Because private lessons were a half hour and stuff like that. So I taught him the most difficult thing in the form first. It took me a few minutes to break it down for him to understand. Okay. So I taught him how to do flowers, how to spin it, come underneath the arms and spinning it around and everything like that. So I got him to do it standing still. I got him to do it forward, and then I got him to do it backwards, where you go walk backwards and do it. And the mom came back, and I looked at her and I said, well, let me show you what he learned. So he did it standing still, did it forward, did it backwards, and the mom just started crying. Well, I can't believe you got him to do this.
Why did you start with the most difficult part?
Because if I could get him to do the difficult part, everything else is easy.
Okay. How old were you at the time?
I was 22.
Okay. So how much of your approach was her skepticism? Because I'm putting myself in your shoes and I'm going, well, forget you. I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
I wanted to prove her wrong. Because, to this day I still talk to the kid. He goes to he's like 20 now, 20 something. So, but I still we still Facebook and stuff like that, and I talk to the mom and stuff like that. But I wanted to prove her wrong, going like, I could do this. I could get him to do this. Yeah. It probably won't be the best in the beginning, but I'll get him to do it. So I said, well, if I could get him to do the hard thing first, everything else becomes easy for him. So I taught him how to do flowers. And I taught him how to do a standing still. I told him how to, and I literally broke it down to each step.
Yeah.
And I had him count with me how to do it. So everything had a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I would tell him, once he got that down, then I would tell him how to move with it. So I would tell him, and I would do it with him. I'm like, all right, right leg, left leg, right leg, right, left, kind of thing. And he would do it. And then I got him to do it backwards. And the mom was just like, no, he does. This kid did PT. This kid did occupational therapy, everything. And the mom just looked at me. You get him to do more stuff in karate lessons than these people do.
It's the combination of his interest,
yep,
and you being an effective instructor, being able to break things down, and he's motivated.
Yeah.
How motivated is a young kid with some challenges at PT?
Yeah.
They want to go play.
Yeah.
Karate is play in this case.
Yeah, absolutely. And stuff like that. I mean, I have a lot of cases like that. But when they get it, when they understand it, it shows that they could do it. Like me personally, I have learning disabilities and stuff like that. So I struggle in a lot of different areas that I work on constantly. And and I improve on it. I have improved on it a lot, and I just stuck with it. So so
there's even a little bit more motivation there.
Yeah, it's a lot of motivation for me. It's proven to people that you could do stuff to their best of their abilities, not the best of my abilities or your abilities. It's about them, and that's what martial arts is about. It's about them. It's not about me. Yeah, I got one student who could kick to the head. I got another student who kicks to the stomach. That's great.
You probably have a student that the victory is them kicking at any height and not falling over.
Absolutely. Like I have a student, his birthday's coming up. He's going to be 15 years old.
Okay.
So I met him when he was 7, 6, around that age. Paralyzed on his left side. So not truly paralyzed, but where it took him a lot to use his left side.
Okay.
And to this day, his mom thanks me, because he has full range of motion. When he's in class, I look at him, I'm like, hey, buddy, you got to use your left. Just, and he tells me it's hard sometimes. I'm like, I get it. And when he gets it, when he tries hard and he does better in his form or his kicking or whatever it is, and it motivates me. All right, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to stay. And I guess that's what really got me into teaching purposes wise, because it's what they get to do. It's how to improve. It's, being an instructor for yourself, seeing your students to get to do stuff. It's just like they get it. They're doing it. Here they were at this point. Here they are now.
That the satisfaction that comes with guiding people. I don't have kids. I don't know if you have kids.
Oh, no.
Okay. So the people in your school are, to a certain degree, they're your kids.
They're my kids.
Most of my kids are older than I am in my school, right?
Yeah.
But, week to week, I watch them improve. There's one gentleman I'm thinking of, and he's older. He's probably, I think he's the oldest person I've ever taught. And he went from, you could tell the left-right was not working well. And if you know anything about the brain,
yeah.
It's getting older folks to be able to cross that left-right hemisphere is one of the best things they can do to stave off dementia.
Yeah.
And now I'm watching him, and he's doing our first form, and he's kicking and not falling over and not needing to hold on to the bookcase on the side of the space.
Yeah.
And he doesn't see his progress because it's happening so slowly.
Yeah.
But I see it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he leaves, and it's the best part of my week.
Yeah. I mean, the oldest student that I have at my school is 80.
Sorry, you win.
Is 80, 85.
Okay.
Just got his black sash. So I teach two different styles.
Oh, okay.
No, I teach traditional kung fu, and then I teach a style called Shaolin Kempo Karate to mix the Japanese and Chinese kind of thing. So he does the more traditional.
And you
style.
run those independently?
Yeah.
Okay, we got to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
Keep going.
So he does privates with me and stuff like that. Now I'm young. So no, I do all these jump kicks and stuff like that. He'll look at me and go like, "You're crazy."
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that. And I look at him and go like, "Okay, well, this is how we're going to improvise how to do it. This is how we're going to." No, especially with traditional kung fu, you can modify stuff a little bit. I guess with all forms you can modify stuff, but especially in these forms that we have, some of these forms they have jump kicks and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So we modify them, and if he can't do something, he'll look at me. He'll give me that look, and I'll just be like, "Okay, you don't have to do this. We'll do this instead. We'll just change it and stuff like that." Yeah. And like I said, he just got his black sash, so he's king in the world, and he feels great, and he loves what he does. He comes in 2 days a week to work with me, and he goes like, "Mark, this keeps me young."
And how different is he physically than when he started?
He could use his left leg a lot better. He told me his balance is better and stuff like that. So I get stronger. But he was always he's a strong guy and stuff like that. But he feels better. He comes and works out for an hour with me, and he just mentally feels better and stuff like that.
That's awesome. So 2 different styles operating independently in the same school.
Yeah,
I know schools that do it, but it's not the norm. Usually, it gets all integrated.
It gets all. I mean, do I integrate some of the kung fu into the other style in group classes? Absolutely, but they're 2 different styles. Okay. So we have the Shaolin Kempo style, the Shaolin Shunfa style, where it's mixed with Japanese and Chinese. So you have some of the Chinese influence, and you have the Japanese influence, and it's more Shotokan influence and stuff like that. And then you got the traditional style. So the kung fu style, I only do privates.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like
makes it.
I don't do group classes with them.
Okay. Why not?
I just don't.
Okay.
I mean, some of our other schools, they have 2 different classes for people to sign up. The Kung Fu style, because I started with the Shaolin Shunfa system. The Kung Fu style, what I like to say, is my treasure. Mm. No, it's something that I personally paid for to learn. My mom paid for my karate lessons and stuff like that. So I mean, I take great pride in that.
Of course.
But this is something that I personally paid for. So this is like my treasure. I personally paid this out of my own money.
Did you have to go outside the organization?
No. So Grandmaster Damasco, he has the Shaolin Shunfa system, but also he has the Kung Fu system on top of it, where he trained in Black Tiger. He's a certified instructor in praying mantis underneath Champoi. He travels to China and he trains in China at the Shaolin Temple, and I'm sure
we talked about
talked about that stuff. So he has, and that's his treasure, and stuff like that. So he only teaches private students on that.
Okay.
So I guess I kind of took that from him because I'm taking lessons from him, and I'm not doing group classes for it.
How do you communicate that to your students? Because obviously private lessons are pretty lucrative.
Yeah.
Right. And I would imagine the majority of your students don't take private lessons.
No, they don't. I mean, I have some students that take semi-privates. Semi-privates are no more than like 4 people in a class. So we have 3 different programs.
Okay.
We do groups, we do semi-privates, and then we do privates. Mm-hmm. The privates are like for my high-ranking black belts, and they want more training kind of thing. Semi-privates, I kind of talk to the parents about, or talk to whoever's signing up. Well, like, this is what you get for group classes. This is what you're going to get for semi-privates. Semi-privates, you get 1 additional 30-minute lesson, and then you get all the group classes that you could attend to. Mm-hmm. So you have 4 group classes, and then you have a 5th class for 30 minutes with me. Okay. And we concentrate on what you want to learn, kind of thing. Or at least get more out of it, what you want out of it.
Yeah, there's obviously more opportunity for instructor attention in a small group than a larger group.
Yeah. And then, they will look at the programs and they'll ask me, because I don't talk about the Kung Fu program. I just don't.
How do they find out about it? How did this older gentleman find out about it?
Well, he comes in and he goes like, well, I want to learn karate. Tell me what karate is about. So I told him about the Shaolin system, and it wasn't, you could just tell that it didn't click. It didn't click with him. And so I told him what the Kung Fu style. And I gave him a little bit of history of what the Kung Fu style is. Then I told him what the benefits are. And I told him that it's more of a body workout in the Kung Fu, because the Kung Fu style is a harder system because it's a full body. You get everything going, and he's like, well, can I see what you're talking about? So I brought him on the floor and I went through some simple drills and like, this is what I want to learn. No, this is what I'm looking more for.
So you used it as a save the sale.
Yeah, kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's why we do intros. We have them come in and try our class out. We talk afterwards with the class about the class and see what they think. And they give me the feedback that they got, and I give them whatever information that they want. And if it's not something they want, one, I'll try to help them figure out what they want. Or like, for example, I'm not a BJJ school. I don't roll on the ground. I teach ground defense techniques, but I'm not that type of school. And if that's what they're looking for, we have 3 other schools in town that do it. And I just tell them, no, go check one of them out. Yep. That sounds like what you're more looking for, because I'll teach you how to roll on the ground. I'll teach you how to get out of it. I'll teach you how to get back on your feet. But I'm not going to teach you submission holds and stuff like that. No, I'm going to teach you how to.
Nor I would imagine if someone comes in and their dream is to be a pro MMA fighter. Yeah. Are you going to say, yes, stay here. This is the best place for you. You gotta be honest.
Yeah, and I'm honest with them. Like I had a guy who's like, I'm looking at how to use my hands, and we do a lot of hand striking, with the system. But he's like, I want to hit a heavy bag. I don't have heavy bags. I have bags, but I don't have heavy bags. And I was like, well, there's a boxing gym.
It sounds like he wants boxing.
Yeah, and so I told him where it was. I wrote down the address for him. Yep. I gave him the telephone number, and I sent him on his way.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, and if I can't really offer you it, I'm not gonna make you think that it kind of thing and everything. No, but if you're looking for self-defense, I can teach you how to defend yourself. Sure. If you're looking for traditional martial arts, I'm traditional martial arts. But if you're like really looking for something like boxing or I'll tell you where to go, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things we've done wrong as an industry over the years is to not do that. There's so many schools who do not do that, and we're getting better. I believe we're getting better.
Oh yeah,
at that.
Could compare it to then to
because
now.
It's led to this. My style is better than yours.
Yeah.
One of the things we talk about on the show is that people don't like to make a bad choice.
Yeah.
So they say, where should I go? And people, you got to train this style. No, you got to train this style. No, you got to train this style. They're like, I'm going to go play basketball.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, we adapted. No, Grandmaster. No, his background is in boxing, so we have a lot of boxing drills that we do. But I'm not a boxing gym. No, I'll teach you how to use your hands. I'll teach you how to punch and stuff like that, with boxing drills. But if you're looking to get in the ring and punch each other in the head, I'm not it, right? Kind of thing.
And that's okay. Yeah. It's okay to not be everything.
Yeah,
you kind of have to take what you have and do the best you can with it, and that means some things are going to be left out.
Yeah, absolutely. But but getting back into the Kung Fu style, the system. So I told him what the Kung Fu was about, and I showed him, and he said, this is what I'm looking for. But it's not something that I promote. It's not something that if students are looking for something a little harder, then I'll bring that to their attention. No, we have more of a traditional style. No, it gets into the sword and the staff and the Kwando, and you saw me, working with that and stuff like that. And and I'll show them what it's about, and then they'll still do the other style, but then they'll start getting into the Kung Fu style and stuff like that. Because we do teach traditional Kung Fu, and we say we are a Kung Fu school, but our Kung Fu, our challenge is a mix of Chinese and Japanese, but we do have a traditional style and everything.
All right. Are you more, less, or equally excited about martial arts in general today as you were, say, 10 years ago?
Yes. Yeah. And let me explain why.
Yeah.
So it goes back to just what I said before. I just have to be better than the next day. So it's just making myself better every day. And when I get it, when I truly understand it, and I truly do the weapon, and I do this and I do that, it it puts a smile on my face and stuff like that. And then I get to show it to the students and stuff like that. And they go like, yeah, no, I get this. This is great. I love this. And that puts a bigger smile on my face because they get it and they're enjoying it. But, martial arts, it's my treasure. It's, things can be taken away from you. Think about it. Your house could be taken away.
Sure.
You don't pay your mortgage. Your house is gone. Or property taxes.
Or somebody decides a road needs to be there.
Yeah. It's gone. Your job could be taken away if if you're not up to whatever the case is.
Yep.
They can't take this away from me. No, this is something that I have personally worked on to get myself to the levels that I'm at, and it's what I do. And so when I go home to Connecticut and stuff like that, people might know when I visit friends, they're going, "Oh, there's the karate guy."
You're still the karate guy.
I'm still the karate guy, and stuff like that, and it puts a smile on my face because I enjoy it. I mean, at first, my mom told me I had to do it. Then I had to make that choice if I was going to stick with it or not. I made the choice and stuff like that. And then I guess I wanted to get to my black belt. No, if I got to my black belt, I would be happy because not everyone makes it the black belt. So I wanted to do something that a lot of people can't sit there and say that they got to, and stuff. But what helped me to stay past that point is when I started helping out with classes and watching just the kids, their smile, or even my smile when I'm holding the pads like this and they go, yeah, hit harder, get in a lower stance, kind of thing. And I just don't get bored with it, because it's something else to learn. It's something to challenge myself with. So I just don't get bored.
There's always somebody new that doesn't learn like somebody else.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, how do I reach this person? How do I get them to come back next week? And how do I get them to progress? It's a problem. There's a problem solving there that never goes away.
Yeah. How to keep their interest, how to keep them motivated to come. I remember one time an instructor looked at me and said, you got to think about, they come in the front door, they're trying to leave the back door. You have to stop them in the middle and keep them there. Because students will have their highs, they'll have their lows, have highs. So you have to try to keep them just in the middle. And they'll have their highs and just try not to let them get their lows. And it's just getting them to understand how to do it and watching them go, I got this. I can do this. And they could learn from it and grow from it and stuff like that.
Awesome. What's next? What's coming? If we get back together, let's say 5-10 years, and we'll say, part 2. Mark, what have you been up to?
I'm hoping I'm still doing this.
Okay.
I still think I'd be teaching and still, taking lessons and still making my knowledge better and just doing this.
More of the same.
More of the same. I mean,
if it's good, don't change it.
Don't change it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, especially when you get new students and it clicks and they understand and they stay with you for a long time. No, I had this location. We have this location open for 19 years so far. I still have original students from 19 years ago.
Awesome.
I got like 10 of them. Now,
that's incredible.
And everything, how often do they stay like that? So you're doing something right when people stay that long with you. I keep students for a long time. I keep them for 2, 3. They go to college and they leave and stuff like that, or they start when they're kids and other activities, and they kind of just get involved with other things, and their interests just kind of change. But when you keep them for like 19 years, especially, I was 19 when I 20 around that age when I signed them up, and they were like 30. So being at that age and keeping them for that long, it's huge. It's unbelievable and stuff like that.
It's great. If people want to find you, website, social media, what do you guys do?
No, we have a website, sdsskungfu.com. I have a Facebook page for the studio. I have Instagram and stuff like that. And no, I'm pretty simple though.
Okay.
Hopefully.
We'll make sure we get that stuff so we can
Yeah.
put it in the show notes.
Cool.
Everybody. Okay. Audience, hey, so check out the school, follow, all that good stuff. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to turn it back to you in just a moment. Remember, if you want to support what we do here at Whistlekick, our mission to get everybody in the world to train for 6 months, you know what to do. Buy something, share something, tell people about something, come to something. Whatever seems to make sense is a good thing. So how do you want to leave it? What we've talked, we've been all over the place today. Those are my favorite episodes, right? I love when what is this episode about? Yes, everything. I love those episodes because most of us as people are all over the place. We have different things, but the common thread, of course, throughout the show is martial arts. So how do you want to wrap up? What do you want to tell the audience?
Always be a student. If you train, be a student. There's some people, they get their black belt, they say that they're a black belt, then they don't train anymore. Always be a student, always train, and enjoy it and learn. That's pretty much it.
Great place to end it. Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.